Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the brand new Unit Lost store. This has got loads of new products on, but also it's got the limited edition gold Unit Lost t-shirt. It is back, and it's also a hoodie as well. It is back for a limited time during Christmas, so click the link below, guys. Check it out. It's awesome. Josh, my man, I've got an honest question for you. How much of the Winter Wonderland event brawls have you played?
One of each, I think. Same as everybody else.
I've not even played them. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Oh, dear me. And ladies and gentlemen, that is, of course, the whole point of this video. It is event fatigue. It is, how do you fix these events? What is going on? We know. This has been done to death, right? We know that Blizzard have said to us, look, these events are just going to be the same. You're just going to get different skins. But every time an event comes around, I can't help but feel massively disappointed. So yesterday, when the event dropped, I was sitting there and like normally, right, this is normally what I do for events. I'd be absolutely dying to log into the game. So I'm like, right, okay, I'm there. Like I'm looking at my clock. It's like, right, it's 1 minute to go. As soon as that clock goes over to 7 o'clock, because that's normally when they go out in the UK, I smash check for updates in my client. I'm like, let's go, right? And it'll brew, as I like to say. And as obviously you do with tea as well, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful. Anyway, the bar starts to load, and then you go straight into the game. Now, the reason why you try and do it fast is because normally there's so many people trying to log in, it's impossible to get onto the servers, right? However, for this event, I think I clicked like check for updates at about 5 minutes past 7. Wasn't even like bang on the time. Now I know that you're probably laughing. Josh is laughing at me like, oh my God, he's 5 minutes late. Yeah, but that just goes to illustrate my point. Like, I would be dying to get into these events to see what the new brawl was and all of that. But I kind of was like, they've already showed me the skins, with the exception of I think it was the exception of a Reinhardt and Ashe epic skin.
Yes.
They showed us all of the skins. So I'm like, all right, I want to see the highlight intros. But again, I'd already seen those and the emotes because of the teaser, which was put out on Twitter at 7 o'clock exactly. So I'm like, well, actually, whatever. Anyway, I logged in, and there was some problems with the servers because they were disconnected. But then eventually when I got put into a queue, it was only 3,000 players long. Now, normally, I think it goes to like 20,000, doesn't it? Or something crazy.
Yes, I ended up in a 20,000
like people are like, oh, okay, what time was that then?
That was about 5-6 minutes past. Yeah, I think about that.
So I think you got in like
you were a little bit early. Yeah. You got in a touch earlier than like the huddled masses trying to cram in, because yeah, I was in a 20,000 strong queue, but it does make you feel a little bit disappointed when you do log in and it's like, what's new? And then it's like even the same splash screen as before. I'm getting the Blizzard World one now, but it's the same one as before.
Made me disappointed. In the video I made and I'm checking out the new stuff, I'm like, oh, it's just the same splash screen. This is slightly disappointing, but then it spins around to Hanzo getting nailed in the face, and I'm like, actually, that's pretty funny. But none of the new skins are involved in the splash. It's like, what the hell, Blizz? Oh, I mean, yeah, like you were about to say, I guess, Josh. Why didn't they use Blizzard World?
Yeah, well, you get like one now. If you log in after that one, you sometimes get the splash screen with the Black Forest map, and then sometimes you'll just get like the normal Overwatch screen where you just have like a hero standing there looking at you going, please play me! You haven't played me in years! Oh, I've been forgotten about, I'm still wearing a skin from 7 events ago. And so, yeah, it's like, oh, well, that's Blizzard World. It's also got terrible lighting, by the way, for thumbnail making. Pet peeve with Blizzard, stop giving us little areas with terrible lighting. It's really, really a pain in the ass. But yes, it's like you look at that and then you go to the arcade and it's like, oh, what's in the arcade? Oh, it's the same things. And there's also like not a team deathmatch, it's just like a random deathmatch, or mystery deathmatch they're calling it, mystery FFA, where you get random heroes every single time you die, which is kind of fun, I guess, but...
All right, so I know that the brawls, it's all subjective, right? Everybody's going to like different kinds of brawls and whatever when it comes to seasonal brawls, but I really don't like May Snowball Offensive. I've never really been a fan of that. But when it first came out, I was like, this is a bit like there. I didn't really care for it, not great. The Yeti Hunt, not bad, but again, it's something that even when it first came out, which I believe was last year, I only really played it a few times, and I'm like, okay, that's great. In fact, I think the most I played it was during the Yogscast Jingle Jam, because they were playing it there, I believe, and that was about it. But this year, I have not even played any of the brawls. In fact, all I've done since the event has gone live is just play competitive. And now, admittedly, not that many games. I've played about 8 games today, I think, and I played about 6 games today, maybe, and 2 games yesterday. That's it. Like, I've not gone into the brawls, and it makes me really sad, right? Because I wanna I want to see new stuff. I don't want Blizzard to. This sounds really rich coming from me because I know I've got a very storied history of covering like leaks and all of that stuff. But when Blizzard tell you what everything is before the event, it is so like disheartening to then log in and go, it's just the same. I knew it was going to be the same. Like, I knew it. But even though I knew, I still was disappointed. It's really weird. It's so strange.
It's one of those things, like, and you mentioned you cover leaks, but there's sort of an excitement with leaks. Like, you get a blurry picture of the Xbox Japan has leaked or something, and it's like, oh my god, have you seen this vague detail, like a blurry Junkrat picture? And you want to see that in game. You want to see what it looks like in glorious high definition, and you don't get to see that until the event actually starts. It feels like there's good meaning to logging in and seeing stuff, and I was like you. I logged in and I was like, okay, well, you click the What's New button, you scroll down, seeing it in glorious high definition, in beautiful, clear pictures from the Overwatch Twitter, and then it's just like, well, yeah, even the highlight intro, like the one highlight intro, we've seen it already because of the little teaser video they showed of the event going live, and it's like, just give us something to be excited about. Like, you've got tons of people logging into the game. You surely want them to be engaging with this content as much as possible. And maybe they are just showing this stuff early just to stop leaks happening. And, it's like, well, someone's going to leak it. Let's try and stop that happening.
But there's so many good ways they could do this. Like, think about it. What they could do is they could put out, like, silhouette teasers of the hero, of the skin. Ooh. Like an advent calendar style thing. Like, oh, what is it today? Oh, it looks like Widow, but I wonder what the skin's going to be. Instead of just going, oh, here's the skin. Because then you know what would happen, right? You get people like me and loads of other people going, oh my god, what is this skin? What could it be? That's what they should do. It just seems a little bit lazy, I've got to be honest. It's like, yeah, we've made all these skins, so we'll just show them you beforehand, and then game goes live, well, the update goes live, and like you said, you now click the What's New button, and so then you just scroll through it and go, yeah, that's cool. And then you're like, what's the brawl? Oh, it's the same. In fact, I've had some extremely passionate comments sent to me on Twitter about the event, and it's I get where people are coming from. So I guess what we should do now is go into how do you fix this? Like, what would you do if you are the Overwatch team to fix this? What is now really real event fatigue, and it would be extremely dangerous to go into next year and run the same events again. I'm even going to say, if the New Year event is the same, just with a different map for Capture the Flag, that might be a little bit like, okay, really? Is this what the year's going to be? Like, I think we need a statement off them telling us what they're going to do. But what do they do, Josh? That's the question.
The first thing I'd like to see is just evolution on existing events. Like, part of me, you could ask for the entire world. You could ask for, let's have new things every single time. But, of course, that's just not realistic. That's not feasible. So even stuff that's, quote-unquote, developer-light, like just evolving and I use the word evolving very pointedly with the Maze Yeti Hunt, because it is based off a game called Evolve. Like, just deepen that system, deepen what's happening in those events. Like, when the Lucio Ball came around, they added a new map. It's like, even that felt somewhat fresh and invigorating. You get like a bunch of new languages in the announcer pack and stuff like that, and you get some new bits and bobs and new stuff to look at, and just deepen the content that's already there. Try and do something with Maze Snowball Hunt that makes it a little bit more exciting, that makes it a little bit more interesting. Do something with the Yeti Hunt game mode, because I think there's a good foundation there, right? There was an entire game based around the idea of sort of this asymmetrical multiplayer where you're trying to hunt a big monster that's trying to get stronger. Well, you can do stuff with that, make that system a little bit deeper, flesh it out a little bit more, like they've sort of been doing with Junkenstein, or especially like they did from Junkenstein first year to Junkenstein second year, adding a ton of new heroes.
Junkenstein? Yeah, well, Junkenstein this year was massively disappointing because we were thinking, it surely will go inside the castle this time, or there'll be some sort of extra, and it was just the same as last year. I'm like, what the hell? It's the same. Like, okay, you had different heroes you could play, but it was just the same. But the first year it came out, the second year it came out, it was built upon, it was evolved, and then it was like, we can't be bothered anymore. That's what it feels like, right?
Yeah, it feels somewhat disappointing to just see the event sort of being trotted out, and it makes you wonder, like, what are they doing? Like, where is the time going? Is it really all going into developing balance patches? Is it really all going into developing the Overwatch League viewer? Surely that's not the case. Like, there's a lot of very talented developers out there, and it was why I was really heartened to see Jeff Kaplan on the forum say stuff like, yeah, we just spent some time letting developers prototype stuff, letting developers mess around with stuff and tinker with ideas, because that generally is what results in these brawls happening. Like, they need to have those moments where they can just let the developers off the leash, because these are creative people. These are creative, talented people. Blizzard hires, like, the best in the industry. They should be able to produce some really, really good stuff if you just let them do it.
That's a good point. Like, you can say, like, hey, the Overwatch team is not the biggest, but they can't just go out there and go, let's hire 50 more devs, because where'd you get them from? Like, that's always going to be a problem that Blizzard are going to face, because if they want to chase after the best people, you can't just, like, throw dollar bills at it, can you? And go, here we go. We've massively increased the team, so we're just going to pump out loads more content, and it's going to be awesome, because it probably then won't meet the requirements that they've got, and that's another issue. But yeah, like, I think... I mean, we came up with a pretty good idea a couple of videos ago, and it was the idea of radically changing the events and the seasonal events to progress the story, so there is a constant narrative running through. So it almost feels like a live world that is evolving as time goes on. So each event introduces something different. Now, I think at the time I said, like, yeah, just totally get rid of all these seasonal events that we've got and just come out with, like, completely new lore events all the time. They don't have to be massive, not like Retribution massive, but they can just have little bits of stuff going on, minor edits to maps and things like that. That can push the story forward. But then, I've since thought about this, and I think that actually you can still do this with the seasonal events they've got now. You can still push the story forward by doing things with these events, because Overwatch is supposed to be a living world, right? It's supposed to be almost like a parallel to our real world, just in the future. So when the Lunar New Year event happens, why can't something also happen that also pushes the story forward as well?
Yeah.
And then that ties into the next event, and into the next event, and into the next event.
Literally one of the best comics they did, like, was 2 years ago, I think, and it was the Christmas one they released, where they showed, like, what all the characters are doing around Christmas, and you had all these little snippets, and that's the one where they introduced Emily, and it was a really nice little insight into, all these characters are doing all these different things, and these don't have to be massive events either. They can just be I want to harken back to, like, the Sombra ARG days, and, the Sombra ARG was a letdown overall, but there was a real excitement when every patch landed and just a couple of things changed. Just, some screens changed, some documents were left lying around somewhere, and you could, like, look at all this different stuff, and everyone was diving into the maps, looking through all this stuff. And you can imagine, like, what happens if they do the Christmas Blizzard world, but there's, like, I don't know, there's something there where you find out that Hanzo and Genji met there, or something like that, and tried to have a reunion there or something, and talked over the goddamn Diablo area or something. Like, you could do cool little things, just cool little snippets that make the world feel alive, make the world feel breathing. And that...
You know what I would have done? You know what I would have done to the map? Oh my god. You know what I'd have done to the map? I'd get Deckard Cain to go, don't you guys have phones? And that'd be like...
Oh no!
That would be amazing. Oh my god. Probably wouldn't have been approved, but it would have been amazing. Imagine how funny that would have been.
Oh my god.
Imagine how funny it would have been. Oh my god.
Well, mobile phones should be turned off in the Diablo experience. You guys do have phones, don't you? Oh, Jesus. That would be amazing. That would be just incredible.
It would be. Imagine the memes, though. That would be a positive meme. Blizzard, hire me. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's 100% do it. But yeah, just to circle us back, trying to get back to this point. Like you said, it's a living world, right? These events, like, the point of these events is they exist in the Overwatch universe. They actually happen in the Overwatch universe. Where it's like, Christmas or Winter Wonderland just happens because there's the holiday season. Chinese New Year happens because that happens in the real world. Stuff like the Summer Games happen. Stuff like, the archives are meant to be sort of be like this declassification of Overwatch files and stuff like that. There's a lot of lore to pull off, and it just gives people something to go and look for and be excited about, alongside, having stuff like brawls, having stuff like skins, and you can even release themed skins around it, like the casual Hanzo. Like, maybe, I don't know, Zarya and Widowmaker had a showdown on a snowy alpine mountain. That would be freaking rad to happen, but that's something you have a good explanation for them to be in snow gear and stuff like that. It's not too hard to do this sort of stuff, and it's just, I don't think it's that intensive either.
No, and also I'd like to see more in-engine cinematics as well. Like the Junkentown one we got, yes. I thought was pretty good. The I forget what was it called? Whatever it was, anyway, that was pretty good. Why are they not making more of that? Like, because why are we not getting those with...
I can tell you 100% why. Because Taron Gregory is busy working over at World of Warcraft. Yeah, that's what he does. He's the guy who tends to do those in-engine cinematics and sort of drives those sort of things. And yeah, they just...
Who cares about Warcraft? Yeah, get him over here. Every event that comes out, I want one of these running with the event. Because they're beautiful, right? Because then what you could do, your idea, Josh, of Zarya and Widowmaker on some peak going down it with the snow gear on, he could visualize that, and you could have them having like a little sort of a bit of banter. I don't know. They could do something, and then it would give it a bit more backstory. It's like, oh yeah, it's a fun winter event, and it's got this bit of extra whatever with it. But I guess all of this just comes down to, is it actually worth doing it? And I think, like, there's probably a battle they have to go through where it's like things they want to do and things they can almost afford to do, if you get what I'm saying. Like, you can't have everything. I know that the cinematics they cost as much as a Pixar film to make per minute. So every minute it's crazily expensive. So go and Google how much it costs Pixar to make a film per minute. It's ridiculously expensive. So those cinematics are mega expensive, but they're just for marketing, right? And maybe there comes a point where they don't make as much as they thought they would. So maybe they could divert those funds into other areas. I don't know. But like you said, Josh, it's probably just simply down to the fact the guy that makes these is busy making other stuff. So it's unlucky. I don't know, man. Like, I feel quite frustrated. And I feel like we're in limbo at the moment because I don't know what's going to happen. And I feel like the big thing will be the first event we get next year. If that is the same or nothing really drastic happens and it's just skins again and it's the same, we just get a different map. Because I think we got the Thailand map, didn't we, for Capture the Flag? So we get another map. And I'm like, because remember, they didn't show us a map at BlizzCon either. So what are they going to do? Just give us that map for that event? Maybe they give us a new. I don't know. It's weird, right?
But like the thing, you think about like the budgeting and stuff like that. But what I want to highlight is this: I'm in a number of different Discords. I keep an eye on a number of different forums. I track a bunch of different things across the internet. And one of the things I see when an Overwatch event happens, people talk about the Overwatch event. Like, doesn't matter if it's completely not related to Overwatch. People stop and go, "Oh yeah, and Overwatch did this thing. Have you seen this skin? Have you seen this? Have you seen that? Have you seen the other?" And they log into Overwatch, and then they inevitably go, "Oh, well, it's just the same as last year. Why did I log on?" And going to like the idea of, well, is it worth it? This is where players come back. This is where you get players coming back into the game because they want to see the new stuff. They want to maybe play a couple of rounds of quick play, maybe even dip into competitive, try out all the brawls, and do all that stuff. This is your chance to grip them again. This is your chance to grab them again, and you gotta give them something. You gotta give them something to look forward to.
Well, yeah, and we've gone through a year of giving them not much, really, which is unfortunate. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know how you would fix the events going forward into the future. Go crazy in the comments below. Like, I want to see some crazy ideas here. We've given you quite a lot of ideas in this video, but I think it is, I don't like using absolute terms like, oh, it's make or break year for Overwatch next year. But it's a year, like, it's the third year of the game. It's a year where, maybe we'll get an expansion for Overwatch. It's the year where Overwatch needs to start growing for the future because it's had explosive growth. Now it's kind of plateaued off, and they've either got to push the growth again or just accept where it is. I don't know. Like, I don't know. We don't know. Like, surely they're not just going to accept where it is because these guys want to make games. They want to make good content. I can't imagine that they're sitting there going, "Oh, it's fine. Let's just do the same events again." I just cannot see that in my head.
Yeah, I imagine the developers are I imagine there's some developer listening to this right now going, "You know what? Yeah, I really wish I could have done that, but we had to do this, that, and the other. And maybe there's something internal that we don't know about. Maybe there is just things we don't know." But
well, of course, yeah.
Let them loose.
Anyway,
let the developers loose, Jeff.
All right, guys. I've been Stylosa, and you've been somebody.
I've been Josh. Yeah, I know.
You can follow me on Twitter, guys, which is @UnitLostGaming, and you can follow Josh on. Let me guess. Hang on. No. I know what it is. It's at. It doesn't. Does it have ESL in your Twitter?
No, not in my Twitter.
No. It's just they didn't get to that on Twitter.
It's
right?
just one underscore.
Underscore.
Because I'm not verified.
Oh my god. What a scrub. And on that bombshell. I tell you, let's stop saying that. This ain't Top Gear. I'll catch you on the next one, ladies and gentlemen. Toodaloo.
Bye.